Most people walk around every single day acting like they're not broken, acting like they got it all together, fronting on social media, lying to their friends, lying to themselves, but deep down they're shattered, pieces all over the floor, and they think if they ignore it long enough, the pain will just disappear. But I'm here to tell you something. You can't rebuild what you won't admit is broken. You keep hiding behind the smile, behind the clothes, behind the image, thinking that if nobody sees the cracks, you'll be fine. But let me be real with you. Hiding your brokenness doesn't make you whole. It just makes you stuck. See, the moment you stop pretending is the moment healing starts. The moment you stop performing for people who don't even care about your truth, that's the moment you start to reclaim your power. You can't fake your way to the next level. You can't hustle your way past your hurt until you face it. Own it. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not okay. I've been slipping. I've been playing small. I've been lying to myself. That's where it begins. That's ground zero, and let me tell you something, ain't no shame in that. There's strength in that. You got wounds that you've been covering up for years. Emotional scars, mental weight, old stories you keep replaying like a broken record. And you've been telling yourself it don't affect you anymore. But your life tells a different story. Your patterns tell a different story. Your relationships, your decisions, they all reflect a part of you that still ain't healed. But here's the truth. Broken doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. And when you acknowledge that brokenness, you give yourself permission to rebuild piece by piece, layer by layer. That's how you take back your life. Some of you were never taught how to process pain. You were taught to survive. You were taught to bury it, move on, tough it out. But survival is not healing. Just because you made it through doesn't mean you dealt with it. Just because you're breathing doesn't mean you're living. You don't heal by ignoring it. You don't grow by numbing it. And no, success won't fix it either. Money won't fix it. New relationships won't fix it. Relocation won't fix it. If you carry the same broken mindset into the next season, that season won't bless you. It'll break you again and again until you finally get tired of the cycle. At some point, you gotta say enough. Enough pretending. Enough masking. Enough running. I don't care how ugly the truth is. It's your truth. Own it. Sit with it. Because when you sit with your pain long enough, it starts to teach you. It shows you the places you lost yourself. It shows you the patterns that have held you hostage. It shows you who you've been and who you no longer want to be. And that's where transformation begins. Not when everything's perfect, but when you're honest enough to say, I need to rebuild. That takes courage. That takes strength. That's a different kind of power. Not the kind that flexes for the gram. The kind that faces itself in silence, that wrestles with doubt, that breaks down in the dark and still gets up in the morning ready to fight again. Stop thinking being broken is the end. Broken is a beginning. A cracked foundation is still a foundation. You can rebuild from there, you can grow from there, you can become more from there, but only if you stop denying it. You gotta stop waiting for someone else to come fix you. Stop waiting for the apology you never got. Stop waiting for closure from people who couldn't even love you right. Stop waiting for the perfect timing. It's not coming. You are the one. You're the answer. You're the change. You're the builder. But you can't build while you're lying to yourself. When you're ready to rebuild, you gotta strip it all down. You gotta tear down the walls you built to protect yourself that now keep you prisoner. You gotta stop playing tough and start being real. You don't need more followers. You need more self-awareness. You need to learn how to sit in your silence without reaching for distraction. Because when everything's stripped away, when it's just you, your thoughts, and your truth, That's when the real work begins. And yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be messy, but you were never meant to stay in that broken place. You were never meant to carry the weight of the world on your own. You were meant to rise, but you can't rise until you get low enough to be real with yourself. I'm telling you right now, everything you want to become, everything you're dreaming about, every next level version of you is on the other side of honesty. It's on the other side of accountability. It's on the other side of you saying, I've been broken, but I'm still standing, and now I'm about to build something they've never seen before. You're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. You're starting from survival. You're starting from that deep place inside you that refuses to die, that refuses to quit. That's your power. So stop running from your brokenness and start rebuilding from it. Because broken crayons still color. Broken hearts still beat, and broken people still rise when they choose to. Everybody want to rebuild themselves until they realize what it actually takes. See, people love the idea of transformation. They love how it looks. They love how it sounds. New season, new me, level up, all the buzzwords. But when it's time to show up, when it's time to grind for real, for days, weeks, months, even years with no recognition, no applause, no clout, most people fold because rebuilding yourself ain't cute. It ain't clean. It ain't Instagrammable. It's messy. It's gritty. It's early mornings when you want to sleep. It's late nights when your body is screaming to quit. It's doing the hard thing over and over again when nobody's watching and nobody's cheering. Everybody wants the results, but they don't want the process. And let me tell you something. You will never rebuild yourself on feelings. You gotta fall in love with the grind. Not the goal, the grind. See, feelings are liars. Feelings will have you skipping workouts. Feelings will have you ghosting your responsibilities. Feelings will convince you that you deserve a break when you haven't even earned momentum. But the grind don't care how you feel. The grind don't need permission. The grind is the decision you make when the excitement wears off. You think rebuilding is gonna feel good. Nah, rebuilding feels like exhaustion. It feels like sacrifice. It feels like waking up and showing up when your body hurts and your mind is tired and everything in you is saying just give up. But here's the truth, the grind is the gateway. That grind is where you learn who you are. That grind is where you develop character. That grind is where you find out if you really want what you say you want. People ask me all the time, how do I get to the next level? You grind, you build consistency when it's boring. You stay disciplined when nobody claps. You sacrifice when it's inconvenient. That's the next level. And the truth is, some of you don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You just need to stop quitting when it gets uncomfortable. Because if you only work when it's easy, you're not building strength. You're building dependence on comfort. And comfort is the enemy of growth. You don't get stronger in comfort. You don't develop a new identity in comfort. Rebuilding requires pressure. You say you want a new life, then understand this. The new version of you is gonna cost the old version of you everything. Your old habits gotta die. Your excuses gotta die. Your soft mentality, the one that looks for shortcuts and exits every time it gets hard, it has to die. And the only way to kill it, the grind, you rebuild yourself when you decide that excuses are no longer an option. When you decide that you're not gonna wait to feel ready, or feel good, or feel inspired. Nah, you show up regardless. You put the reps in regardless, because you know what you're building is worth it. Let me be real with you, rebuilding isn't a one-day thing. It's not a New Year's resolution. It's not a weekend seminar. It's a lifestyle shift. It's about showing up every single day with purpose and with pain and saying, I'm not stopping. Because that grind, that daily decision, That's what builds momentum, and momentum is what separates people who dream from people who do. You can't build a new life with part-time effort. You can't create a new identity with old patterns. You gotta go all in. That means you stop negotiating with your limitations. You stop listening to that inner voice that keeps telling you it's too hard, too late, too slow. You ignore that voice and you grind. I need you to understand something. Greatness isn't convenient. Success isn't comfortable. Becoming the best version of yourself will not happen while you're living like everybody else. You want uncommon results. Then you need uncommon discipline. You need an uncommon work ethic. You need a grind that doesn't clock out when it gets hard. Because the grind will test you. Oh, it's gonna test everything: your patience, your endurance, your mindset, your commitment. And if you're not rooted in something deeper than hype, you won't make it. If you're not driven by something bigger than ego, you'll tap out. But if you stay locked in, if you keep pushing when it's hard, when it's quiet, when it hurts, that's when you start to change. That's when you realize it's not even about the outcome anymore. It's about who you're becoming in the process. The grind strips away your excuses and leaves only your character. It reveals what you're really made of. Not what you say, what you do, because rebuilding yourself isn't about one big leap. It's about 1,000 small choices. The grind is those small choices. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're laying another brick. Every time you say no to distraction, no to comfort, no to quitting, you're getting stronger. You're getting clearer. You're becoming unstoppable. This journey, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the people who need applause. It's for the ones who are willing to suffer for their future, who are willing to grind in private so they can rise in power, who don't care if it takes 1 year or 10. They're committed to the build, because at the end of the day, rebuilding yourself isn't about hype. It's not about what you post. It's about what you repeat. It's about what you're willing to do when nobody is watching, nobody is clapping, and nobody is helping. That's where you win, in the dark, in the lonely hours, in the early mornings and late nights, in the work that nobody sees but everyone will feel. So I don't need you to get excited. I need you to grind. I need you to wake up tomorrow with that same fire. I need you to choose discipline over dopamine. I need you to sacrifice convenience for conviction. You say you wanna rebuild yourself, then let me tell you the truth most people run from. You can't be new if the old you keeps showing up. You can go to all the seminars, read all the books, listen to all the podcasts, but if you keep letting the same version of yourself run the show, the same mindset, the same habits, the same excuses, then nothing changes, nothing real happens, because rebuilding is not just about what you start doing, it's about what you stop being. Every day you gotta wake up and make a decision to kill the old you, and I know that sounds harsh, but sometimes the truth ain't supposed to feel soft. Sometimes it's supposed to wake you up. You can't build a new life while dragging the dead weight of the person you used to be. You can't rise while still reaching back to what broke you. See, we all carry pieces of our old selves into the new season. That's human, but at some point you have to say, this version of me has served its time. That old version. It was built in survival. It was built in trauma. It was built in pain. But you're not there anymore. And if you are, you're not meant to stay. The person you're trying to become, they can't live in the same space as the one who settles, the one who procrastinates, the one who blames, who doubts, who fears, who plays small because it's safer. You gotta shed that. You gotta let that version of you die every single day, and hear me, it's not a one-time thing. You don't wake up one day and suddenly you're the new you. Nah, this is war. It's daily. It's intentional. It's looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm not letting that weak version run today. I'm not letting that scared, insecure, lazy version take the wheel. You have to be ruthless about who you're no longer willing to be. Because if you don't decide who leads your life, your old self will take the job by default. And that old you will always choose comfort. It will always take the easy route. It will always sabotage your progress because it's afraid of the unknown. It doesn't care about legacy. It doesn't care about vision. It only cares about survival. But you weren't born to just survive. You were born to evolve. You were born to grow, to stretch, to build something that reflects the greatness inside of you. And you cannot do that while babysitting your old self. You say you want transformation. Then understand this. Transformation requires a funeral. Something has to die. The excuses, the comparisons, the old story you keep telling yourself about why you're not good enough. That narrative is expired. That script is done. Rip it up and write a new one. But that takes courage. Because, let's be real, we get comfortable in our dysfunction. Some of us have built our identity around the broken version. We've worn it for so long, we don't even know who we are without it. That's why it's so hard to let go. Because we're not just changing actions, we're burying beliefs. But that's the work. That's the rebuild. Every day you wake up, you're either feeding your future or feeding your past. You're either stepping into growth or shrinking back into what's familiar. But you can't do both. You can't become something new and hold on to who you were at the same time. One of them has to go, and if you don't choose, life will choose for you. This is why discipline is non-negotiable. Because when you don't feel like showing up, when your emotions are all over the place, when doubt starts creeping in, that old version will be the first to knock on your door. You know what I'm talking about. That voice in your head that says, skip today, you're tired, nobody's watching, you're not even making progress. That voice. That's your old self, trying to sneak back in. And your job is to shut it down, not with words, with action. With consistency, with a decision that says, no, we don't live there anymore. You have to retrain your mind. Rebuild your identity, redefine your standards, and that means doing hard things, especially when it's uncomfortable. You don't rise by avoiding difficulty, you rise by pushing through it. You rise by choosing a higher version of yourself even when it hurts. Even when you're tired, even when no one claps, even when you've failed 5 times already, because the new you, the one you keep dreaming about, that version is on the other side of who you're willing to bury. And don't get it twisted, we're not burying you. We're burying the limitations, the fear, the doubt, the indecision. We're burying the lie that you're not good enough. The lie that your past defines you, the lie that you have to stay broken. That ain't your truth. Your truth is power. Your truth is growth. Your truth is the version of you that chooses progress over perfection, that shows up messy, but shows up anyway. That doesn't need permission to become more. That's who you are now. So stop making room for the old you in this new season. Stop entertaining thoughts that don't serve your vision. Stop explaining yourself to people who are still stuck in who you used to be. This is a new level. And every new level requires a new identity. You gotta upgrade your patterns. You gotta elevate your habits. You gotta renew your mindset. Because the only way to rebuild is to release. The only way forward is to let go. The new you is already in you. You're not creating something from scratch. You're uncovering who you've always been. And every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you choose vision over fear, every time you choose progress over comfort, that new you gets stronger. So kill that old version of you again and again. until there's nothing left but the greatness you were always meant to become. Some of y'all are rebuilding, but you're doing it backwards. You're trying to move forward while your eyes are locked on the rear you mirror. You're dragging your past into your future like it owes you something. Let me tell you this right now, you can't rebuild yourself if you keep running from your past. You can't rise if you keep letting the shame, the guilt, the regrets define who you are right now. Listen to me. I know it hurt. I know it was unfair. I know you didn't ask for some of the battles you had to fight. Some of you were dealt hands that would have broken anybody else. But you're still here, and the fact that you're still here, that means you've got purpose. That means what tried to break you failed. So why are you still running from it? You've got two choices. You can keep avoiding what happened, or you can face it, learn from it, and build with it. You can either let it haunt you, or you can make it fuel you. Stop acting like your past disqualifies you. Your past equips you. You think your story is over because it's messy, because it's not perfect. No, that's what makes it powerful. Nobody gets inspired by perfection. People are inspired by transformation. They're inspired by somebody who went through hell and chose to come out different. Not bitter, not broken, but rebuilt. See, some of you are running from your past because you're still carrying the shame. You're still carrying the failure. You're still carrying that voice in your head that says, you're not enough. You messed up too bad. You should have done more. Let me be real with you. Shame is not your identity. That failure is not your name. That mistake was a moment, not a definition. You are not what happened to you. You are what you decide to do with what happened. And you've got to decide right now that you're done letting your past write your future. You're done letting broken people define your worth. You're done letting pain become your personality. That's not who you are anymore. You've got a choice. You can either stay stuck in what broke you, or you can run toward what builds you. Running from the past is what keeps you tired. It's why you can't rest. It's why you can't focus. Because you're constantly trying to outrun a shadow. You're constantly trying to prove to people who don't even matter that you've changed. But healing isn't about proving anything, it's about owning everything. Saying, yeah, I made mistakes. Yeah, I went through pain. But look at me now. I'm still standing. I'm still building. I'm still becoming. You gotta understand that pain you experienced, that loss, that betrayal, that breakdown, it wasn't just suffering for the sake of suffering. It was a classroom, it was a teacher, it taught you what love is, what strength is, what resilience feels like. Some of your greatest tools were forged in your darkest seasons, but if you keep running from those seasons, you're leaving power on the table. Your purpose isn't ahead of you, it's inside you. And most of the time, it's hidden underneath the rubble of your past. You want clarity. Stop asking God for a vision while you're refusing to revisit the places you buried your gifts. Stop asking for your next chapter while you're pretending chapter 3 didn't happen. Everything you need to rebuild is already in your story, even the broken pieces. Especially the broken pieces. I need you to understand this. Your story matters, not just the polished part. Not just the highlight reel, all of it, because someone out there is waiting for your truth, not your mask. Your truth, they're not gonna be moved by your perfection. They're gonna be moved by your comeback. They're gonna see your scars and realize they can survive theirs too. But you've got to make a decision. You've got to stop letting fear be your GPS. Stop letting guilt be your compass. Start moving in the direction of purpose. Start moving in the direction of healing, of peace, of growth. That means you face the past, not to relive it, but to redeem it. You go back not to stay, but to get what you left behind. Your confidence, your voice, your power. Some of y'all think healing means forgetting. No, healing means remembering differently. It means looking back without breaking. It means walking through your memories and realizing that didn't destroy me, that refined me. That's when you know you've rebuilt. When the pain no longer controls the narrative. When the fear no longer makes the decisions. And I know it's scary. I know it's hard to open those doors, but what's harder is living every day pretending like you're okay when you're still bleeding. What's harder is building a future on a foundation you never healed. You think you're protecting yourself by avoiding it, but you're actually imprisoning yourself. You don't need to run anymore. You don't need to fake it. You don't need to carry it alone. What you need is courage. Courage to say, I've been through it, but I'm not staying there. I'm building something new. That's how you shift. That's how you take control. That's how you stop surviving and start creating. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your lowest moment. You are rebirth. You are resilience. You are the proof that broken people can rise, rebuild, and lead. You are the example that the story doesn't end in chapter 5. Not if you choose to keep writing. So stop running from what broke you and start running toward what builds you. Because the future you want, the person you're becoming, they're not running away from the pain. They're running through it. They're building from it. They're turning ashes into architecture. They're using every scar as a blueprint for something greater. That's what it means to rebuild. That's what it means to rise. That's what it means to take back your life, fully, completely, unapologetically,